Welcome to another episode of Real Conversation. I'm your host, Nicole Jones,
And I'm Quana Terry.
and we would like to thank you guys for joining us here tonight. So, once again, my co host looks amazing. I'm so loving his hair. I'm going to say it every time I see it, okay? It looks amazing on you. It looks
Thank
dope.
you.
So how was your day today?
Thank you. It was a busy day. Busy day. But for the most part, you're just chugging along, doing what you got to do. I'm a bit tired tonight, so excuse my low energy. I'll get it back sometime by the next maybe the next few minutes. I'm just like so tired, but that's what happens. I think I'm so tired from vacation because technically I did so much. It was probably like a 11-day vacation for me, which part of it was a vacation, part of it was a trip, right?
Right?
I'm a bit tired, and I'm just kind of recuperating from that, you know.
Yes, ma'am. So, where did you go?
I went to Universal with my girls for a weekend or so, and then I went on a cruise with you. Oh gosh, we had a good
Yes,
time too.
ma'am. Our time was had. I can say that. We enjoyed ourselves. Our family enjoyed themselves.
Yeah.
Some more than others. you know,
Yep.
but overall, we all had fun. It was a great
Yeah.
vacation. It really was.
Yeah, and it's always nice to get away to just decompress and make sure that you're getting, you're enjoying the fruits of your labor. It's important to take a vacation at least once a year to decompress and, just kind of reset a bit. So and it's always nice to do with friends and family. It's always nice to do
That
that.
part.
So it was an exciting trip. It was a nice trip. So,
Yeah.
how was your day today, Nicole?
Very eventful. So apparently, I'm still on vacation. So, but my vacation, so it's supposed to be the vacation from the vacation, right? But Naya always got me running around doing certain things. So the kids are about to go back to school. So, we just have to make sure, all her ducks are in a row. And because it's her last year at school. So very excited about that one.
Yeah.
And did a little run around. And apparently we keep having storms here. It's like too
Um,
much. Too much.
I think it's everywhere. It's been raining. I'm like, oh, who pissed God off? Because what is going on? These storms have been like torrential downpours, trees falling. I'm like, ooh,
Power
what happened?
outages.
Power outages, right? So it's been a little crazy out there, but you
And
get through
them
it.
demos down here are ridiculous. I'm like, ooh, child, what is going on? And
Yeah.
I'm very proud of myself because back in the days when I started on my job, I used to get so scared because you know how we were raised. God is at work, stay still, no movement, get on the ground. So imagine me delivering mail and I'm like all these trees and it's like thundering and lightning. I was like, oh my gosh, God, I'm so sorry because
Yeah.
I'm not so now, even though yes, you say a little, ones and the twos, but I can drive through it now. Because I used to be like,
Hmm.
oh my goodness.
Hmm.
Listen, it is what it is. I have graduated.
Oh, look at that. Look, the elevation, the growth, the
That part.
growth. All right, well, let's get this show started. It is Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Do you know where your children are? No, I'm just kidding. Remember that commercial? Oh
Yes,
my gosh.
it was 10
Uh,
p.m. for the commercial.
yes,
Yes.
it was 10 p.m. Yes, do
Yep.
you know where your children are?
That's back. That's
Speaking
back
of,
when the TV at what? like maybe what, like 12, no, after 1 o'clock the TV used to be like snowy, like that Snow White,
Yes.
making that
Yes.
noise from Portuguese.
I remember. Oh, listen, speaking of children and knowing where they are, Nicole has a story. There was a little boy that had a very clever way of making money at school.
Yes. So I came across this clip that, it interests me because as a mom of boys, when your boys when your sons come and they have a wad of cash and you didn't give it to them, you kind of have to ask like where you get this money from. So this mother basically asked her son, and her son was selling pads and tampons to young ladies in his school, and he looked like he was in junior high school, to be honest. He was selling them. He was putting them in like little sandwich bags, and he was selling them for $3. And he had basically recruited a bunch of young ladies to distribute. What, I can't say the word, distribute the product.
You know
So
what?
it was crazy. His mom, because at first she's screaming, so she had to get to the
Mhm.
point where it was just like, wait a minute, you're you're selling this to little girl? And he was like, remember when you said I have a lot of female friends? Well, they're the ones that help me distribute it because they're not gonna buy it for me. I'm a boy. Why would they buy it for
Yeah.
me? And she got like real quiet, and she was like, "You got all this money from selling pads and tampons?" He was like, "Yeah." He looked like he had to been like 12 or 13 years old.
Listen, that's that. Listen. Kudos to that kid for thinking outside the box and finding a
Hmm.
way to make money. And I'm pretty sure he had it down. He had supers, he had regular, he had super plus. You know what I'm saying? He had overnight pads in there. I
Yes.
know he was making some money. But the crazy part about that to me is, the schools are supposed to have those things on hand. And I remember going to school and there was like a dispenser if you didn't have pads, and it was like maybe 50 cents or something for a tampon for Tampax at the time. And it was the one with the cardboard around the applicator.
Yep.
No bueno. But back in the day, that's what happened. So, and I believe it used to have pads as well in there, and you'd have to pay
Hmm.
50 cents to a dollar for it. The fact that he's making all of this money, because you're saying that he had like a wad, like a wad of cash,
Yeah. Yes.
that that's probably speaks to the fact that maybe the school doesn't have tampons and pads readily available. I don't know, sometimes there's funding issues when it comes to that, but it just like if he's making money $3 a packet, that that's some good money when they could probably be getting it from the machine or from the school nurse or something. What do you think, Nicole?
So the crazy thing is, there shouldn't be I don't think that there should be a funding issue in regards to that because
Hmm.
that's like a kid, getting a meal, in during lunch period. uh, these young ladies, a lot of these parents don't have the funds to be able to feed their kids or give them the essential tools that they need,
Hmm.
so that should automatically be in school. So I know when I was in school, we had to pay for it. I wonder if it's a funding thing, is this something that they give away for free now? Just like how they give away condoms and stuff like that for free. Maybe they do give
Yeah.
away the tampons and the pads for free. But
Yeah.
that's something that should automatically just be in the schools. And I do like the fact that they're free because for the kids that didn't have the money to purchase it from the little machine, you know, it's a good idea to have them for free. But it should be automatic.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think, I guess it depends too. In school district, depends upon the demographics, the geography, really, because there may be people in impoverished areas, excuse me,
Mhm.
impoverished areas that may not be able to afford that stuff. So if they get them for free, they may be. taking a lot of them and, basically making sure that they have them at home as well, because they may not be able to buy them. So there
Very
could be a lot of
possible.
things that goes into that.
Hmm.
um and them not having it at school readily available for the young ladies. But kudos to that little boy who took it upon himself, probably went to, you know what, where would he be getting these pads from, to
He
be
goes to the
honest?
store. He goes to the store. He said he went to the. He goes to the store and picked them up. So clearly, his mom taught him well because he had a variety.
That's what I
Wherever,
say. He a super
wherever,
regular.
wherever you fit in, you had a choice to pick what it is that was needed. There was three pads and one tampon. Whichever one you want, you got. So
Oh
I
wow.
was like, kudos to him. That was very smart. And he paid attention. So it must be more than just his mom. He probably have
Mm,
sisters. He has females in his life to show exactly what is needed and what it is that young ladies or women in general look for. He probably
yeah.
heard someone talk about, oh, I wish they actually have these available for us because what if we run out or what if we don't have any many different things, many different
Yeah,
reasons.
that was so cool. Listen, great business model. I'd invest in them.
That
Because
part.
it's so smart to, and one, he's fulfilling a need on both ends. He needs money and they need
Hmm.
pads and tampons, right? They need protection.
Yep.
So he's doing a wonderful thing. So kudos to that young man for doing what it is that he needs to do to make money. And I have a pretty good idea of what his mom thought he was doing, and I'm glad it wasn't that.
Right, because his
And
mother actually thought that he was doing something because he's a young boy, and she actually thought he
hmm
was doing something else, and was very
yeah,
shocked by how he did obtain the cash. So yeah, I actually liked his business mindset. He's
yeah,
seen an issue and he knew how to resolve that issue. So kudos to him.
yes, it's the same. It is the perfect example of a business plan. You see a
Hmm.
need, you fill it.
Hmm.
Period. So
That
kudos to
part.
that young man. Right.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. So one of the things that I don't know, Nicole, do you have anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay, all right, cool. Um Again, with the young man, he gave options. And we all know that we like options, right? And options in everything, food choices, right? Options in relationship, people who actually will be best for us. We want to make sure we have options that way. But you know what, there is something about, and I don't know about you, maybe it's just could be me, but I am a firm believer that when people think there's something better than what you're offering them, let them think that there's something better out there, right? You shouldn't get mad at them. You shouldn't hurt them. You shouldn't bind them. You shouldn't try to hold on to them. You basically just surrender that relationship and then let God elevate you to the next level, whatever that level is. And we're going to talk about that in the next segment. Just talking about, listen, I got options. Like, regardless of what you feel, if you don't want to be with me, if you don't want to work with me, if you don't want to compromise with me, that's okay. I got options. And we should not be unwilling to let these relationships, people, things go if they're not serving us. So we're going to talk about that in the next segment. Again, we're talking about options. We're talking about letting people, things, places go when they no longer serve you. You have so many things that you can choose from. Like I said in the previous segment, we talked about, relationships. We talked about, jobs, all types of things that you may have options for. And it's like, you let people or let those things fall away when they do not serve you. So, options. Nicole, do you agree with what I'm saying?
Of course. I mean,
Hmm.
when it comes, we all, we all have options, right? But let's speak about it in regards to a relationship.
Hmm.
You said it. I've said that, many times when we spoke about it. I think I said it on our last show too. But basically, when somebody decides that they feel like they want to choose another person over you, allow that to happen. There's nothing you can do. You can't force someone to be with you. So and there's nothing wrong with it. Go through what it is that you need to go through, but you should never sit there and try to force or try to like prevent that person from going where it is that they want to go. Allow them to go. It's either it's going to be the best thing for them or the totally opposite, but they ain't got nothing to
Hmm.
do with you. You know, you have to do what's right by you, and what that is whatever it is that you need to do to get yourself over that little hump that was caused by that person. You know, dive into that. If it be work, if it be your children, if it be uh what like I don't know, like I don't know why this word the word is right here on my tongue, but it doesn't want to come out. Okay, but let's say you want to like do like you want to learn something new, like do it just to get yourself out of it. But when when a person chooses to if they put you in a third party situation, and just so we're clear, this is not just about women, okay? Because women do this to men. It's not just about what men do to women. Women do this to men as well. Okay. So I don't want to make it seem like, we're just bashing men and, trying to, come at them in the wrong way.
Right.
But if the individual that you are dealing with, whoever your partner is, right? If they choose to put you in a third party situation, um, I read somewhere where what's her name, Chloe Bailey. Chloe Bailey said she had found out that the dude that she was dealing with was cheating, but that particular night she needed to cuddle, so she ignored it and she called it her toxic trait. It's actually not a toxic trait because we all want to feel love in a way, and
Hmm.
it's not saying that if you sit there and turn a blind eye because you need somebody to hold you that is wrong. It's just you just want to feel love at that moment. Um and at that moment that's the person who's there, and that's the person. It's not just that's the person who's there, that's the person who you want to be there.
Mm.
But what we need to stop doing is allowing these people to diminish us to the point where we think that that's all we got, and that's not true. And I know a lot of people want to sit there and say, "Oh, you got to love yourself more." It has nothing to do with loving yourself more all the time. Sometimes it does, but that's not every case. Sometimes people end up in these situations because the dating pool that we are in right now is ridiculous. Like, there's a lot of people out here doing a lot of, how do you say, like fugazi stuff. you know so it's hard for a lot of men and women who are dating at this very moment. If you're not in a committed relationship, I feel so bad for you guys because, well, not everyone. It's for the people who are in weird situations, however you want to call it. that find themselves in these type of situations, that got them caught up. But if a person gives, if a person puts you in a situation where they have options, I always say, if you gotta choose between me and another person, choose them because I got me. You know,
Yeah.
um, all the time.
Yeah.
I'm sorry because I kind of like talked a lot on that little segment. I
That's
have like
okay.
all these little thoughts, so I'm sorry.
No,
Let me
you're
pass it
good.
over to
That's what it's
my
about.
co-host over there.
No, that's what it's about. You voicing your opinion and articulating your thoughts. That's what it's all about.
In a scrambling way because I'm sorry, it was all over the place. I had so many thoughts at one time, and I'm going
Mhm.
here. It's like I have ADHD. I was just talking about
No,
that.
it
I do not
happens.
have ADHD, but that's a form of ADHD when you sit up there and you bounce from one thing to the next. So let's pass it on to Quana. What do
Yeah,
you
no,
think
it
about the
happens.
options, girl?
You know, and you were mentioning in terms of relationships, and I feel like it's again, whatever in whatever area of your life, whether it be professional, whether it be personal, um, your options, if there's something that's just not serving you, you can, of course, go out and get other options that will fill that void, instead of trying to hold on to what it
Does it
is that
always?
is not going to was not going to better you. I think a lot of us actually hold on to things way too long. Surrender the relationship, surrender the job, surrender it all. Especially if it's causing chaos, confusion, especially if there's a constant push and pull. It's like, go get them options and your options. And it doesn't have to, like I said, so when it comes to relationship, it's like, okay, you know what? This relationship didn't work out, but until I find somebody else, let me go and do the thing that I wanted to do. Um, this whole time. Let me go get that degree. Let me go get that money. Let me go and start that hobby. Let me go and pour into myself. Hey, let me go to yoga. Let me work out. Let me do those things that's going to make me feel good, and two, be good for me in the long run.
Yeah, for sure.
It's definitely important, man. Like, child.
And
It,
don't let nobody sit there and deter you from what it is that you want to do. Don't let anybody sit there and try to make you feel bad about whatever decision that you chose for yourself. Your decision
yeah,
is your decision. Nobody can change that. Nobody can alter anything. You know what's best for you first and foremost. No one else can
correct.
tell you what it is that is needed. All you have
Right.
to do is
And
look within.
that's right. And you know what? They may not understand it, but it's not for them to understand. It's
Yeah.
your life, your decision, and you make the you are the decision maker in your life, right? So whether or not people agree with it or understand why you've done certain things, where you're doing it, how you're doing it, it does not matter, as long as you know that it's going to lead you to the end goal that you want. All the rest of the stuff is background noise. So
Yeah.
when I say I got options, right, I got options. I got a lot of options. Not all of those options are for my highest good, right?
Right.
So, and it's okay to sift through those options, right? To
Absolutely.
see what works best for you. It's okay to sift through those options, as long as it doesn't compromise your integrity, your character, or your beliefs and morals. As long as it doesn't do that, it's okay to sift through those things. And
Hmm.
and then once you find out what it is, then you do what you got to do and you choose. But until then, continue to have the options, continue to focus on bettering yourself, continue to focus on things that will edify you instead of destroy you.
Hmm.
Continue to focus on those. Right, Nicole?
Yes, ma'am.
So that's all I got for this topic. It's okay to have options, but it's also okay to let go of the things, the people, the stuff that may not suit you. And that's okay. Don't try to bind them. Don't try to hold on to them. Don't try to, put them in, hurt them or do anything like that. Just keep going, surrender whatever it is, and let God have his way in your life. And I promise you, when you do it with him, you won't lose.
Now, you said it twice. You said bind them, right? I know a lot of
Hmm.
people don't know what that means. Why don't you, just a smidge, just explain to them what that means in regards, because
Um,
that's in regards to relationship. That has nothing to do with, you know, jobs or anything like that. So,
no,
what does
it
that
does.
mean?
But
How can you bind the job?
so when, say for instance, if you have a manager who absolutely loves you, doesn't
Hmm.
want you to move forward because they love your work, but you want to do other things, they will do things so that you will not
They
go
can sabotage
anywhere.
you. Yes,
So
I have a postmaster that did that to one of the supervisors. But
that's a bind,
just like
you know.
what Shaquan said, um, it only lasts for so long when something like that happens anyway. Because if you're good at your job, it doesn't matter what it is that they do, because it's gonna your shine is gonna shine right through, and you're gonna get to where you gotta go. You might get a little, it might be delayed just a little bit, but you'll still get to the the end goal. But yes, okay. Now, in regards to relationships,
Relationships, I believe, same thing. You could have somebody who you've been in a relationship with for 12, 13 years. It's not working. It's just not working. Things ain't going right. You're not on the same page. And this person know they're a crappy person because they keep cheating, or they're giving you the bare minimum. They're not giving you your
mhm.
worth. And then you're getting ready to leave and boom, you get pregnant or something like that, right? And
Wow.
then now you're okay, you stuck in a relationship with this person, and
Hmm.
so there are a lot of things that can be used to be bind you in the physical. Spiritually, that's something different, because there are a lot of people out there that are using spiritual practices to hold on or to create strongholds in people's lives. And I don't really want to get too far into that,
We
but
don't
if
need
you
to.
know, you know.
Yeah. And just so people understand, because I know a lot of people think that, oh, I believe in that. Oh, you don't have to believe in it, boo boo. It's not about what you believe in. It's about what they believe in. I learned
Hmm.
that years ago.
Yeah,
So
there's
yeah,
manipulation via words that can bind you to a person.
words have power.
Just, huh?
I said words have power.
Yes, they do. So there's so many different ways that you can be bound to a person, bound to a situation, bound to a job, whatever it is. There's a lot of ways that you can be bound to that. And if you're not looking at it with certain eyes, if your eyes aren't open, you can fall victim to it. And then, yeah, Nicole talks about the delay, because the delay is not a denial. But imagine being bound and being delayed for 15, 20 years.
Yeah,
Sometimes that's your good. They're giving the people your best years, but you're unhappy
yeah,
in that space. I believe in the delay is not a denial. I believe in
mhm,
that, but some delays we can control if
yeah,
we open our eyes. And listen, I already know. I've been there. I've done it. I got the book, got the T-shirt, even have the little maracas with the thing on them. I got it all. And now, just finally seeing certain things, you're open, your eyes are open to a lot of things, and you have to just make sure that you are, of course, opening your eyes to certain things, but making sure you're seeing through the facade. And I think Nicole said a lot of things doesn't, go back to self love. But I think, sometimes when you love somebody more than you, that's a problem. You should be loving yourself more than the other person, and you should want the
Yes,
best for you, and understanding your worth, and what you bring to the table. And if that person is not reciprocating, yeah, get the hell out of there. So,
yeah, yeah. But that's why I said it's not always the case. Everyone
mm-hmm,
always try
mm-hmm,
to throw that the person doesn't love them, but it's not saying that you don't love you. But a lot of people do uh put other people before. Just it's just like you putting your kids before you. They claim that you're supposed to put yourself before your kids. Also,
mm-hmm,
it all falls in the
mm-hmm.
same category. Yeah. In
Yeah,
regards to what
absolutely.
you just said. Yeah.
You're absolutely right. So check this out. It's okay. Again, you have your options. It's okay to act on your options. It's okay. My thing is, just make sure you have those options. Just make sure that you're not giving one thing everything, giving one person everything. Make sure you
Hmm.
have something to fall back on. Make sure you have something that, if that particular thing goes awry, you have something to fall back on. And that's
Hmm.
finances, that is jobs, that is relationships, whether platonic or romantic. Some people think that you can't live without them. It's like, you have a friend who you've been rocking with for 30 years, and something happens, y'all fall out, and they're like, "Oh, that person ain't gonna never make it without me." The guy said, a boyfriend or a husband, that person's never going to make it without me. First of all, you are autonomous. You are your own person anyway. So it's important for you to have options, meaning hobbies and things outside of those relationships that you can actually fall back on when one of those things fails. It's
Hmm.
important to have options.
It's so funny that you said that because you know how like in regards to relationships, how men because you don't never hear women say this, but how men always say, "Oh, don't nobody want you with them kids." Like you a hater, sir. You don't never hear women say that to men.
Yeah. I never understood that sentiment. Like, I never understood them saying, "Oh, no one's gonna want you with all these kids." Sir, okay, let's talk about it. And there's a lot of men out here who live in single parent households or whatever else. Sir, you were here, and then your brother came. Your brother's father is not your father. So
Ooh,
obviously somebody wanted your mother while she had a kid. Okay?
that part.
So times haven't changed. There's nothing new under the sun.
Mhm.
Somebody is going to want to be there and want to love that person and want to give to that person equally,
Mhm.
and they'll be better
And
than you, most likely.
to the women, who do have kids and did have someone tell them that there are men out here that are okay with you having your children. Okay? There are men out here that will teach your children, when you guys commit are in a committed relationship, like they are his children. I know somebody who I know more than one person, but I'm just speaking about this one particular person. When he got with his person at the time, I believe she had like two or three kids. So
Hmm.
and they got married, and to this day treat them kids like they're his own. Like you know, there's no other parent in that in their life. It's just him and their mom. So I always say kudos to him because I feel that when you shouldn't not talk to a woman because she has kids, or vice versa, not talk to a man because he have kids, because you can be missing out on a great gem. You know what I mean? You never know who that person can be in your life. If you're basing it on, they had a relationship before you and they had kids. That's BS. Because if they're
I mean,
single,
I don't think it's BS. I think it's preference. So you have absolutely you because you got options.
you do.
You have the right to choose whether or not you want to date someone with children or not. You
Yes,
have
you
that
do.
right, and it's not. I don't deem it as being being discriminatory. I just think that it's a preference.
But some
I
people
there's certain
do
people that I
discriminate.
won't date, huh?
Hmm. Some guys do discriminate against women who have children. They say it all the time. Yeah,
I mean, discriminate, or they say that, okay, hey, listen, I don't want to date somebody with children.
that's different. I'm talking about discriminate. I'm talking about talk down about the women because oh she got such a oh she got to be a hoe or she got to be this or like that makes no sense. But when
I
it
mean,
comes to a
if you
man,
have a small
women don't
mind
do
like
that to
that,
men.
like if you have a small, I mean, technically women do, because listen, we prejudge too. Because if you have 5 kids and you telling me that you got 5 baby mothers, I'm like, hey, now, hold up, what happened?
I mean,
Let
I don't.
let me
We
get
might
that.
ask what happened, but I'm not going to sit there. When we speak amongst ourselves, yes, we might sit there and talk about, hey, he got five baby daddy, 5 baby mamas. Like, what the heck going on? But that's not all women. All women don't do that. All we all know you can get with a person, especially if you're with a person for a long period. You don't know how long that person been with that person for them to have their kids, and then they broke up. Everyone's situation is different. I'm not saying that there's not women out here that do what you just stated. What I'm saying is that's not every woman. There's a lot of men. I'm not saying it's all men because we know that there's men that sit there and will take a woman with no matter how many kids she has. But there's
Mhm.
a lot of men that it's the opposite, and it's not just about the preference. If it's about your preference, if you don't want nobody that you don't want to date nobody with kids, that's fine. But we're talking about the ones. It's okay to lay up with her, but you don't want to commit to her. You know what I mean? Like that's a little weird. Like just leave them alone altogether.
I mean, it, it it's okay to lay up with her but not commit. I mean, to me, that man's test driving. You know what I'm saying? Women do it too. They test drive. Okay, like I I I I should be able to do that. He should be able to do it. Women should be able to do that.
But
Men
we're
should
not
be
talking
able to
about
be
test
like,
driving. Test driving is when you're meeting up with the chick and you're testing it out one, two, three times. We're not talking about that. We're talking about men that sit here and act like, they with the person and then but they know they're not committing to this person because I prime example. I know this guy, the girl that he was dealing with, she had 2 kids, 2 little girls, right? At the time. He's sitting up there like buying the house stuff, like doing stuff like boyfriend stuff, right? But then when it came down, he was spending on everything. But when it came down to committing, he literally came out his face and said, "Oh, I can't commit to someone who has kids."
okay, so then she let him go, right?
She did let him. She eventually let him go at that time. Um,
Okay.
but I would say, but you allow because you hear from. I think I want to say he was there for a year or almost a year.
Mhm.
I can't remember exactly because it was a long time ago. And yeah, like you're sitting up here acting, playing house and doing all kinds of stuff, but you knew that this is not where you wanted to be. Like that's a little weird for me because it's different if you want to just, smash and whatever, you can say that. Let her know that. She might be down with it. But that means you ain't coming around her kids. You're not sleeping up in her house. There's a lot of dudes that sit up there and lie about that. And this is not a dude that didn't have his own because he had his own spot. So we're not, because a lot of people sit there and say, oh, maybe he just was using her for her house or her money or whatever. He had his own job. He had his own house. So that was not this.
Mm.
He just,
I mean,
yeah.
he did the smash and dash, but the thing about that is, and I think we talked about this in previous shows about asking the necessary questions, right? Um, I feel like sometimes there are signs where where you can tell, hey, this person is not here for the long haul. Good for you're here
Absolutely.
for a good time, not for a long time.
Not for a long
Sometimes
time.
you can tell. Sometimes you can tell. But it's always important to check in. Like, okay, you're gonna
Hmm.
be in my house eating up all my food, because when you eat my kids, you eat my kids Lunchables and drinking their juices,
Ooh,
and meanwhile, but you have no intention on committing. Like,
but
that's
that's something
something
that we got to
that,
start doing. We got to make sure that you let these people know you're dating with intentions, because and it's crazy that you have to say that, but when someone knows that you're dating with intentions and you do have these questions, you ask these questions and they answer a certain way. If it's not what you like, you know, kudos. It's all
Mhm.
right, wish you all the best and move on. But there's a lot of people that got that mask up. So, there are people, and these is men and women, because women do the same crap. There are people that sit there and make it seem like I'm here for the long haul when they know they're not. But then there's other people that let you know right up front, hey, I don't want no commitment. You know, are you okay with this or whatever? And there are women that sit there and think that they can change what he just said. No, sweetheart, he said you're not here for the long haul. Okay, you want to have some fun. That's it. And if you're okay
Here
with
for a
that,
good
then let's go
time.
with that. But if not, don't do it to yourself.
Here for a good time, not a long
Not a
time.
long time.
And that's okay, especially if
Hmm.
you're being upfront and honest about it. It's perfectly fine. I just think
Absolutely.
that many people need to stop projecting what they want to see in a relationship on someone else, because you
Yes.
can tell, if you are level-headed and you're using your mind, you're using your head, you're making head over heart decisions, you'll be
Hmm.
able to tell whether or not that person is there for the long haul, or if they're still feeling things out. And if you're not willing to wait for that person to make a decision, then hey, listen, chances are that person has options. Chances that person has been looking at a couple of different options, and they're just trying to choose the best one, and that's
You
okay.
can
But that
tell.
person, like you said, should say something. And in the case of the guy, being in there, being in the woman's house, together for years, he met her children and doing all of that. I think if he had no intentions to commit, I think that he should have said something earlier,
I agree.
because one, because if you care about her, you care about, by extension, her children. And
Hmm.
you don't want the children to be around all these different people, even though she shouldn't want them to be around all these different people. But if the conversation isn't had about what is next, where do you
Hmm.
see this relationship going, I think that should be in 6 months. After 6 months, hey, listen, where do you see this relationship going? Are
Hmm.
you down for me? Like, do you see this going long term? And 6 months, you can know whether or not you foresee it going. You
Yeah.
don't know what it's gonna be, but in 6 months, hey, listen, okay, this might be a person that I could rock with. Okay, and if not, you move on. But I think the check-ins need to happen, especially
Yeah,
in
I think
these
I
in
agree
these
with that
right
wholeheartedly.
in
I
these
think that
it,
it's a communication, thing that needs to happen throughout, the duration of what it is that you have. This is a
yeah.
situationship, relationship, whatever, wherever you're going. Someone said, I read somewhere where someone said, it is 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months. 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months. By that 3 months mark, you should know what it is that's going on in your relationship. But another woman was saying, by the time she got to the 3 month mark with different men, um, the men started saying that they didn't want to commit. In the beginning, the 3 days, the 3 weeks, they were saying exactly what it is that she was saying. because they felt that they were going to get where it is that, they wanted to get with her. But she was
Mhm.
following the 3 days, 3 weeks, and 3 months mark. And she said
Mhm.
she realized 3 months, I ain't with it, kick them all to the curb. And then
Mhm.
you start over with whoever else, who the next options are. That's why
Yeah,
having options is good to have. So you go, weed out, the good from the bad. And try that 3 days, 3 weeks, and 3 months. That way you're not wasting your time, because time wasting practices, it only hurts you. Uh
absolutely.
so just try to, whatever works for you. But I thought that was cute. 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months.
And I think we talked about that rule a few shows back, and I think it's a great starting point. As long as you're communicating, like, you know
Definitely.
again, the lines of communication need to be open. If listen, hey, listen, I'm dating 5 or 6 people right now, okay? Which is diabolical, right? Because I'm
But it's
scared now. We just
okay.
hold up,
It's
but
okay.
let me tell you why I'm scared, because I have this fear now of
I think I know what you're talking about.
like, you dating 5 or 6 people and you kissing 5 or 6 people, you share bottle, you share fluids with them, you drinking off their cup. I don't know, sir. I
I'm
don't
not okay with
know.
that. And I think a lot of people shouldn't be okay with that, because there's different things going around now. It's not the same. It's not like back in the days. You have to be worried about a lot of things. You can't
Girl,
you
that's your
can't be intimate with people like that, just because, like, there's a lot of people nowadays that we see that we read up on that don't even use protection. There's
yeah.
a lot of people that don't use protection. That's
I
that's that's
mean,
alarming.
yeah, it is alarming. And okay, and a lot of people, we're grown, right? We're grown. Some people don't
Absolutely.
like the feeling of condoms, the latex or whatever else.
Absolutely.
But like, get your driver's license, right? Get your driver's license first. Sometimes you're in the heat of the moment, because we're gonna talk
Hold
real. You're in
on.
the heat of the
Let's back
moment,
up. Let's back
and
up.
it's like you be
What is
praying to
the drive?
God,
Wait,
like,
wait, wait. What is the driver's license, please? What is the driver's license? Because they're gonna be like, "This driver, I got my driver's license. What's a driver's license? Why you talking? I got my driver's license right here."
and I listen, I'm gonna credit that to somebody that I was talking to, and he mentioned driver's license, and I thought that was so cute when he said it. He's like, I got to have a license to test drive. I was like, I like that. I'm gonna credit that to him. He was a nice guy, just wasn't for me. Um, you basically getting your STD panels,
Damn.
before taking it there, and getting your panel, but also making sure that you screen share, do something, and make sure they log it into their own portal. Like, make sure you see they face, they picture up there on the side. Don't take no um copies of paper, because they could do that. You can
You
edit
go
all of that
over it.
stuff on Adobe PDF. Okay, edit. Make sure that make sure it's they my chart. They lining it. They signing in and going through their test results with you. And if anything, there are places where you can go together and get instant results as
Yes.
well, right? So, do that. It's important. And I learned a lot when going from my last testing, and certain things that I already knew, but a lot of things blew my mind. And I was like, whoa, okay, we got to tighten up out here in these streets, even though, when that time comes, it's like, all right, I'm good. But I just, all of the other things. And if you go back to the show, it was called Know Your Sexual Health. And in the comments, I will pin that link down there because we learned so much and we talked about so much in that show.
Hmm.
And it's important for you to know your sexual health. So yeah, you got options, but know that, when you can go out here and you kiss these people, some people can have herpes and, and
And listen, I've been doing this since I was a kid. You know how little girls you sit up there and you kissing everybody. I didn't. Everybody could not kiss me. They could not kiss me.
uh,
And it's so funny how it's like the things that you learn. I must have known something in my okay,
right.
because I was like, nope, ducking, weaving. No, oh, don't kiss me. I don't kiss. No, I don't kiss.
It's just so diabolical that many people don't have a have a care in the world about their sexual energy.
Hmm.
Some people are so reckless with their sexual energy.
Yes,
And we're getting off topic, but
we are, but
you
this is
know,
important.
it's important to know know your status.
Hmm.
Two, guard your body, honor
It's
your
life.
body. We all have a past, but when you know better, you do better, right? So honor your temple, honor your body in a way that is pleasing to you and to God because He's the creator. So honor yourselves in that way, have that respect. You just cannot go around. I mean, you can, people do it all the time, just willy nilly kissing everybody, sleeping with everybody. If that's what you want to do, go right ahead and do that.
But if
That's
you're
your
doing it, protect
prerogative.
yourself. Protect you and the
Yes,
person
that
that you're
part.
with. Like, just protect yourself.
Right,
That's all.
right.
But we're
Didn't
not we're
we?
not saying that you can't be who you are and do what it is that you want. It's
Right,
just saying just be smart about it. That's all.
right. And it takes me back to an earlier show of ours when we talked about the guy who knew he had HIV
Mm.
and he slept with all of these women. And it's like, sir, why would you do that? Mad, there's speculation that he was upset because he had it. So guess what? I got it now. Everybody else gonna get it, which is
Right.
a scary thing in itself because now I have to worry about contracting this thing because you mad that you got it, and that's where the
Yeah.
driver's license comes into handy, comes into play. Get your driver's
They also
license.
have, I'm sorry, they also have,
No,
I
you're good.
learned this a few years ago, from someone I know. She was married and, ended up divorced. So she ended up out there in the dating pool again. So they have this thing, I think it's at Walmart or Rite Aid. Maybe it could be at all of them. I don't know. Where you can get like
Mm-hmm.
a rapid HIV test. I didn't even know that it existed in like these pharmacies or whatever. But when she did have a new partner, or whatever, because like all of us, everyone gets tested. But especially after being that she found out that her husband cheated on her, that was the first thing she did was get
Mm-hmm.
tested.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
when she started dealing with other people, she went and she got it. I can't remember if someone told her about it or whatever, but she went and they both took it. They both did the test in front of each
Good.
other. And I was like, oh
Yeah.
wow, like I didn't even know. I learned so much in that little, little section because she ended up finding another person, finding a new person, getting engaged, and all kinds of stuff. But
Yeah.
in her little, the little detour that she had, I was just like, really? Oh my goodness, how much is
Listen.
it? And this is a while ago now. This is probably like maybe 6 years ago, 7 years ago when this happened. So
Yeah. I think, those tests, especially when you go to like CVS and Walgreens and those, I mean, I would, if you don't have insurance or if you want to be discreet or something like that, you can get it there. And then, I think you pay like $150 or
I
something to
can't
that
remember how
effect
much
for
it
the
was.
for entire panel. But just know your status. Yeah, it's wonderful to have options
Yeah.
in all things, but just make sure you're being safe, You're practicing safe sex. You're whatever you do is not a detriment to others. That's all I'm gonna say. Whatever you do, make sure that okay, your options are there, but make sure that whatever you do, it's not a detriment to others. So,
Absolutely.
oh Lord. Well, that was good, Nicole.
Yes, ma'am.
Um. Oh my God. I'm just thinking about to the last show, child. I'm stressed out. But
Listen,
again,
we apologize for, if it seems like we're lagging or anything like that. We are tired. Okay.
yes,
We
we are
had
very tired. We're
a
trying to get
long, enjoyable. Is that a word?
enjoyable.
Enjoyable. I'm
Yeah,
like,
for real.
that sounds wrong. Hold on.
Listen,
Yeah,
y'all. We be
we had
back
a long,
again.
enjoyable. Huh?
We'll be back again next week. We'll be bright eyed and bushy tailed then.
Yes.
Okay. But
So please
okay.
forgive us for any bloopers that happened here tonight.
Right, exactly. Thank you, Nicole. Thank you for that. Well, we thank you again for watching Real Conversation. Once again, I'm your host, Shaquana Terry.
And I'm your host, Nicole Jones.
And you can find us every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube at real underscore convos underscore podcasts. And you can find us on YouTube, I mean on Facebook as well.
At Real Conversations 2021. I said forgive us for the bloopers.
Shall look at the bottom of the screen. You see that real running across. You can see that. We love you all. Thank you so much for rocking with us.